What do you do, Levi?
What can I do?
Do you freeze?
Duck. I duck. I don't know. I drop to the ground. I don't even know what that spell does.
Roll a dodge, please. This is it. This is it. Roll a dodge. This is it.
Come on, Levi. Come on.
Oh, I'm dead, guys. What is dodge? It's plus my what? My nimbleness?
Oh god. Don't die.
Roksana mysteriously appears and tackles Fenrir
Oh,
ground.
no, guys. Alright, come on. Come on.
You got this. Do you want to use your courage?
Yes, courage.
Please?
Yes, plus 3.
Okay.
Plus 3.
So, get rid of one of your courage points. I will now make a roll.
You can make it a 12, Brandon.
Fuck, you can't kill him, he's on the plate. You can't do
I wasn't even supposed to be here. I wasn't even supposed to be here.
Oh.
We're even.
I got a 9. That ties it. 9 versus a 9. That ties it. So, this is what happens because you tied. You are about to dodge out of the way, and you're trying, and you can see the green light, this very, you can feel death literally coming towards you, hurtling towards you. And just as it's about to reach right into your heart, someone jumps in front of you.
No! No! No, Hark! How could you?
Hark, what's happening?
Hark!
Somebody jumps in front of you and pulls you over to the side.
We all know who this is.
As you can smell the scent of your father, Joe. He actually pulls you to the side that you both go over the edge of the bridge and start to fall down, 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 down into the water. What do you do at that point?
What? I don't have anything. I straighten up. Because they say you gotta hit the water as straight as possible.
Yes. All right. You hit straight up, and eventually you will impact into the ocean. The water is cold, freezing cold as you go down into the water. I'm gonna ask you to make an athletic swim roll, please.
Okay, that's good.
So remember how he said someone was dying in Act 1?
I was sure.
Yeah, we're I thought we were joking.
12.
Oh, I'm not joking. 12? Okay. You will swim up to the surface yourself. You currently don't see your father Joe at the moment, but you made it to the surface. What do you do?
I'm looking for Joe.
Roll an observe.
Any sign at all of my loving father, Hark, who was just trying to save his child. You monster.
You rolled a 9. You rolled a 9, I rolled a 9,
I know. I just...
So would Levi have actually died?
He said he wasn't pulling any punches with this spell, guys. We need to take this serious.
Ask me in the... perfect question to ask me at the vlog, at the end.
Yeah, that is the first one I'm asking.
Yeah, I rolled a critical fail looking for my father, so...
Okay. So,
I lost myself right now.
Yes. You search and search and search and search, and you can't find your father Joe anywhere. Meanwhile, there's continual screams. One of the cars explodes into flames, and the entire bridge starts to collapse down into the water as you see several people falling into the water around you.
My other father's up there. What?
What do you do?
I don't know. I sit there and cry, I think, like I'm about to do.
Does Brandon understand now why I did not have his fathers appear in session 0?
Yeah, because they're both dying, and I'm an orphan now. Rodney's my father.
There's a reason why your fathers haven't appeared in session 0 yet.
No, Hark. I love them. What is going on? I literally hit the ground and just tear up and cry. And
in the water?
I'll get to the shore.
I'll get to the shore.
And just wait there. Once I see the bridge collapse and like just the thought of like my other father's up there. I don't know if my other father's even alive. Why was that guy so hairy? I'll just sit there and cry.
Oh, Jesus.
You finally reach the shore. You are freezing cold, shivering. You don't know what happened to your fathers. The bridge has collapsed. There are people in the water still like screaming for help. At this point, you can hear the sound of helicopters. Some of the helicopters are starting to come to save these people. There's people all over the place. It's a mess. It's chaos. Then, after a few moments, you catch a sight of somebody pulling themselves up to the shore as you see your father, Joe, pulling himself up. He looks exhausted.
I run out there and help him. I run and help him the rest of the way that I can.
He looks absolutely exhausted, and you get up to him, and his eyes are like adjusting. He's looking at you, and he thinks you're Levi. Maybe you're not Levi. He's talking to someone that he thinks is Levi, and he says, some water comes out of his mouth as he spits out. He says, Levi, I think we're gonna be late to Toy Story. Sorry.
Give that man a hug.
I don't. Why is he the best? I'm holding him. I'm like hugging him. I'm like, you saved my life. I think gonna die. I don't know what that spell does, but I was pretty sure I was gonna die.
He's exhausted, so like he's going in and out. He's like not unconscious, but he's not completely conscious. You can tell that he's very weak and he's shivering and freezing, because you probably could tell that his body's been through a lot. He's physically like isn't capable of standing up even right now, and so, but he's currently breathing. And as this is all happening around you, you suddenly start to see a few new wizards apparate, and one of the wizards, this is not one of the people that are coming in the smoke, is dressed all in white. So this character all in white is the person in the middle of the AMRS, the Accidental Reversal Magic. Just to remind you, it's that guy in the middle. He apparates in front of you, and he looks around and he sees you and your father, and he sort of puts his hand up to his he takes his wand up to his lips and he says, "Found another muggle." And then he goes over, he walks towards beelines towards Levi and Joe, and he pulls out his wand.
No, I try to stop him.
No.
Son, please step aside, he says.
What are you gonna do to him?
I had strict instructions to obliviate every single muggle in the premises.
No, that spell is bad. It does bad things to these people.
It's not gonna hurt him. He's just going to forget.
There are side effects to this.
Side effects, he says.
Yes, there are side effects to this. Up to like death, I think I heard. I don't remember.
Son, I'm not going to say this again, but if you interfere with the Ministry of Magic, you could see jail time.
Well, no offense,
Step out of
sir,
the way.
But who gets to decide this?
I am going to ask you one more time, and if you don't step away, I will have you arrested.
Do I get arrested, guys?
I'm gonna say move out of the way, but you're your character,
right.
dude.
Yeah,
He do.
I'll reluctantly move out the way.
You reluctantly move out of the way as the AMRS is about to cast his spell.
I was just gonna ask him how much is he gonna forget?
He's not going to respond as he starts to cast the Obliviate spell, but you'll hear a pop as you will see Hunter Lionheart appear, apparate right in front of him.
Oh no! He's alive.
Hunter Lionheart holds up his hand and he says, "Wait, he's my husband." And at that point, the AMRS guy looks very confused, as if he's like, okay, what do I do now? And the Ethan Marcus, the one who had been interviewing Roksana, appears right next to him, and he says, "Scott, stop. That's Hunter Lionheart from the Ministry of Magical Law." Scott Connor stops immediately. He puts his wand down, and he says, "My apologies, Mr. Lionheart. It was a misunderstanding." Mr. Lionheart holds up his hands and he says, "It's all right. I know you're just doing your job. You should go off, boy, and continue what you're doing." And with that, Connor apparates away, and Ethan Marcus says, "My apologies again, Mr. Lionheart. He's new. I will definitely talk to him after this." And Ethan Marcus also apparates away. Hunter puts his hands down, and then he sees Joe, and Joe's by now has passed out because his body just can't take it.
I run up and hug Hunter, my other dad, excited he's not dead.
"You're all right, son."
What were those what was that?
They were, son. They're called Death Eaters. They're with you know who.
I don't know who, and
Sorry.
Joe, he goes over to Joe, and Joe's unconscious. He checks for his breathing, and he says, "I think he'll be all right, but we need to take him to a healer quickly."
Let's go right now, right away.
He turns to Levi and he says, "You were right to listen to the AMRS person, but if I were you, I would not have faulted you for staying put as well."
I wasn't even sure if you were alive. I was afraid that I would be in jail without both my fathers, one not remembering me, one not alive.
Well, I guess you didn't luck out on that this time. He says,
Yeah. Yeah, so we're definitely going to watch Cars and not Toy Story anymore.
He's looking at the bridge again, and he says, "This is going to be quite a mess. Quite a mess to clean up."
Dad?
"Yes, son."
How many of them did you take out?
He rubs your head a little bit, and he says, "Half a dozen, maybe."
That's my dad.
Next scene. You okay, Brandon?
Let me just say.
No, I need a minute. I need a minute, bye guys.
I need to know. Were you really going to kill Brandon?
That's a question for the vlog, mate.
Ask me in the vlog.
No!
You guys are having a heart attack.
Oh my god, I was like...
sure that they were both dead.
I thought they both died, and then I thought Joe died saving me, and then I thought that he died in the water, and then I thought for sure Hunter was dead, and then I thought for sure Joe was going to lose his mind.
Yes.
This was not a good...
I wanted to say
Oh
that.
my God.
You could have
I was about to go to
them.
jail, guys.
You could have told them
The
that.
only reason I did it because I didn't think my other father was alive.
You could have told them that he knew about magic already because he was the husband of a magical person. They don't erase the memories of muggles that already know.
I don't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't know that, unfortunately.
Oh God, you guys.
All right, you can relax. Except for Juan, he can't relax anymore.
It's my turn.
Juan,
No.
this is the summer of 1995. So back in the timeline, you started school in 1993.
Yep.
So this is 2 years later, 1995.
This is how much after the Quidditch game?
It is, yes. That's a good question. So the Quidditch game happened in 1994.
Okay, so it's a year.
So this is the 1 year later, 1995.
Perfect.
Okay. So, Juan, you are in your room, and your mother, Esmeralda, comes in, and she says, "Mijo, I have something that I wanted to give to you. Maybe it's something that you could bring to school with you."
What is it, Mom? He says as he gets up of his bed.
She has something in the back of her back, behind her back, and she pulls out a beautiful, I think it's, you refer to it as an artesania?
Artesania.
So it is a beautifully carved animal with vibrant colors. I think, I'm not, maybe you know what I'm referring to, Clef?
There's this Mexican thing that, yeah, it's artesania. They made them by hand, but there's this tradition that we make fantastical animals that are combinations of various animals.
Yes, and they are very vibrant colors. I got to see many of these in Oaxaca when I went with my husband for our honeymoon.
They're called alebrije.
Thank you. He knew some people. He had some friends that made them for a living, and they're gorgeous. And the one that she's holding on to is the one that's in the shape of an axolotl. What color would you say this axolotl? I'll let you decide the color of the axolotl.
Pink.
Pink?
Yep.
Okay, primarily pink.
Primarily pink. Let's put some blue stuff into it.
Okay. And she says, "Do you know how your father, your biological father, you know how your father would make these sometimes? This was the very first one that he made.
Really?
And I wanted you to have it."
Juan is going to reach out for it, like very careful and like distrustful. He's going to take it, and this is beautiful. Thank you.
He gave it to me on our wedding day, and I think that he would want you to have it now.
Thank you so much. I'll treasure it, he says, and he starts to hug it. Oh.
She'll give you a hug back. Esmeralda! Esmeralda! You can hear Yvonne call out. And she gets up from the hug and she says, Yes, Yvonne. What is it? What is the catastrophe? Where's Carlos? Carlos? I think Carlos went with Eduardo. Eduardo came to visit and they took the kids, Skylar and Carlos, for ice cream. I told Carlos that because he didn't do very well in school this last year, that he needed to stay home this week to study. And Esmeralda says, it was only for a little while, and Eduardo, we haven't seen him in so long, and he wanted to take the kids out so badly. And Ivan is like, he's rubbing his eyes and he looks very, very angry, like he's about to explode. You're witnessing this one. I don't know if you still say anything.
After I see this, I'll get up and go besides my mom, maybe a little bit in front of her, not putting myself in front of Ivan and my mom, but somewhat in front so that I am closer to Ivan than my mom.
Okay. Your mom says, Ivan, we can't do anything about it now, but maybe you should talk to Carlos when he comes back. He should be here any moment. Yes. I'll talk to Carlos when he gets back. She will smile and says, okay. Juan, I'm going to go to the market to get some ingredients for dinner tonight, and I'll be right back. And she will give you a kiss on the cheek, and she will, smiling, she will leave the room. And Ivan looks very, very upset, and he's sort of pacing back and forth a little bit.
While his mom is there, Juan will be smiling and like being very like relaxed. But when his mom leaves, his face will drop, and he will look very serious, like wondering what's going to happen next.
He doesn't say anything to you. Right now, he doesn't seem focused on you at all.
So
Go ahead.
no, then I'll just take my achalado, my gift, and put it in a table besides my bed, so that I'm not carrying it around.
You hear the door open, and in walks in Carlos and Skylar. Skylar still has some ice cream left on, like, in a cone, and Carlos doesn't seem to have any ice cream with him. And as they enter the room, Carlos gasps a little bit, and he says, Papa, you're home early. And your papa's, like, really, really, like, not having it right now. And he says, Carlos, I told you that you're not allowed to leave the house this week because your grades were suffering in school. And Carlos says, Eduardo says here, and it says, don't blame Eduardo to this. You disobeyed me. Eduardo is not your papa. I am your papa. I am the man of this house. You do what I say.
While all of this happened, Juan will raise his voice and say, Ivan, Carlos didn't want to leave. I told him that he should leave. He's been too stressed with school. He needed some time to relax.
He turns to you and says, You are the one who told them they could leave.
Yes, Ivan. He needed time to relax. He's been too stressed with school, and you're not helping him. Just give him a while. I'm sure he will get better at school. He just needs some help.
He continues to, like, stare daggers at you, and then he, without even looking away, he pulls out his wand, raises it up, and then he swings it to his left. And when he swings it to his left, all of a sudden, Skylar's ice cream jumps out of the cone and then smacks against the wall. And Skylar sort of gasps at that. And then he says, Skylar, Carlos, to your rooms. I will deal with you both later.
While they're going, I will like look to them and try to give them a comforting look, like everything's going to be okay. Just relax. I'm handling this.
When they have finally left, Ivan lowers his voice a little bit. He starts pacing back and forth. He still has his wand out. He hasn't put his wand away. And then he says, Juan, this is very distressing. For years, you've done nothing but undermine the rules that I have laid out. Don't you understand, Juan, how difficult it is to run this house properly?
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I just thought that they could use it. I'm sorry. He lowers his side a little bit.
You always do this. You always say you're sorry. Well, instead of being sorry, why don't you just learn from your mistakes and stop messing up every single time?
Yeah, I'll do it, Ivan. Sorry.
You like Eduardo more than me, do you? Say it. You like Eduardo more than me.
You're
like, yes.
he's going to like panic a little. And he's like, no, of course not, Ivan.
Good. Because just remember, your uncle Eduardo does not make the rules around here. Your mother and I, we make the rules for a reason. Your job is to obey them. And if you don't obey them, you get punished.
Yes, I understand.
Turn around, Juan.
He's going to like make fist, but turn around.
You turn around, and from behind, you can hear your father removing his belt. Juan removing his belt. You know what that means.
Yes. He just accepts it and starts to prepare.
You accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. Once. Twice. 3 times. And it's done. Now go to your room and think about what you did.
Yes, Ivan. He'll just, like, before going to the room, he'll go quickly to the bathroom to, like, fix the like, his face. He looks very bad. He's been crying, so he takes that out. And on his way to his room, he just knocks to his brother's door to see if they're all right.
Okay. I think it'll be safe to say that both Skylar and Carlos share a room.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Okay. So you'll hear Skylar calling out, "Papa, we're staying in the room like you said. We're not doing anything wrong."
No, Skylar. It's me. It's Juan.
Oh, Juan?
Yeah.
The door opens, and you see that Skylar opens the door, and he looks very excited to see you. Carlos is over at his bed, and he sort of has his hands behind his head, and he looks very guilty. Looks very, very guilty.
I just go over with Carlos, hug him and say, "Don't worry, everything's fine. Just try to listen to Ivan. It was my fault. I'm sorry."
Why did you lie to him? You didn't say anything about us going to get ice cream, Carlos says.
Just listen to that, okay? Just listen to him. He gives him a kiss on the cheek and says, "Remember, just stay in the room. I'm going to my room if you need me."
They will sort of nod without saying a word, and you will start to go to your room, and you hear the door open again, and you hear your mother call out, "Ivan, kids, I'm home. Are you all ready? I'm going to be making tacos for dinner tonight."
Juan will be looking at the floor, very sad. He's very sad. But the moment he hears his mother's voice, he will again straighten up and say, "Hi, Mom! Tacos? Ah, that's delicious."
"Oh, there's my Juan." She gives you a kiss on the cheek, and she says, "I hope that you're excited for tacos tonight."
I'm always excited.
"So, Ivan, did everything work out with you and Carlos?" Ivan is over at the couch, reading a newspaper, and he says, "Yes, everything went very well. Everyone learned their lesson." "Oh, good. Very good."
Juan will just smile at his mom, give her a kiss in the cheek, and start helping to make dinner.
Okay. And we'll end the scene there.
That broke my heart.
That was
That was
awful.
so-
Yeah.
That was the worst. There was a
Yeah,
point
my
where it
awesome
was
dads almost die, and your douchebag dad just gets to be a douchebag.
there was a point I was like, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, that was so upsetting. Tell your mother, Jesus Christ.
We can ask, I think that's a good question to ask in the vlog, why Juan doesn't seem to want to tell his mother anything.
Oh, I'm
Because she
asking
doesn't
it.
seem to be aware of any of this. She's
Yeah.
completely oblivious, it seems.
Yeah, so that was awesome.
Clark, you're supposed to start decisions lightly, not hit us with the feelings one after the other after the other.
We were supposed to meet each other. We were all so excited for that.
You were also
We were just
happy.
excited to meet each other and play Never Have I Ever and just like make fun of each other. But no.
Oh my goodness.
It's
I'm
her.
like, I'm so upset.
I really thought both of my
Last session 0, the tone is going to be a little different in session 1.
Trigger warning, sadness. Trigger warning, you will feel sad.
yeah.
All right.
Oh.
One more time for today. Roll initiative. One last time.
Come on.
Don't let me go first. I can't handle
You're-
it. Oh, thank God.
Albion. The year is 1997. It is August 15th, 1997, which means that once again, it is the Hachigatsuban festival, the festival of the ancestors. This is shortly after the Ministry of Magic has fallen. So Cornelius Fudge was replaced by Rufus Scrimger as the Ministry of Magic. And then at some point, the Ministry of Magic gets invaded by the Death Eaters. Scrimger gets tortured and eventually assassinated by the Death Eaters. And so pretty much the Voldemort and the Death Eaters have taken over the Ministry of Magic.
So the summer before Harry's 7th year.
Correct. So what ends up happening is that your father sort of came back right after it happened. He basically told everyone in the family to start to pack their things because you need to leave. Because the Death Eaters, for the family's safety, you can't stay at your house. You have to go stay with someone else because he wants to make sure that you and your mother are well protected because of all the craziness that's happening right now in the Ministry of Magic. So right now you're staying with friends of the family.
So which house? Because we have the one in Britain and in Tokyo, so are we not able to stay in either?
Right. Definitely not the one in Britain because that's where most of the stuff is going down. But in addition to that, from the Japanese house, they don't want to stay in that house either. So they're staying nearby. You and your mother at least are staying nearby in Japan. And however, it is August 15th, 1997, and your mother wishes to go to commune with her parents, your grandparents, and you and her ends up going to the garden together. And again, she is dressed in her very traditional robes, probably the same ones that she did before. You're a lot older now, so you probably have your own set. And you guys are, you get to the garden. It's just as beautiful as you saw it from before. And your mother will excuse herself at some point while you're waiting to make your way up to the shrine to go to the girls' room. While you are probably enjoying the scenery, you may went over to check out how the snapdragons are doing, and they're right there where you found them, just as blooming and beautiful as ever. You start to hear screams from some of the people there, and several of the people begin to shuffle and run out of this beautiful garden as several hooded figures in masks appear. The one of them starts motioning everyone to look into different directions, and they're all going over, and they seem to be going from person to person as they're running by, and nobody's like hurting anyone per se. Like they're not causing any damage, but their presence definitely is discerning. And as people rush past them, they look at individual faces and they just let them go. One of them starts talking to the other in a language that you don't understand and is pointing at your direction. Two of the Death Eaters start to surround you, and one of them takes out his wand. He's not pointing it at you, but he has his wand, like, on his side. And he says, Albion Mermont. That's you, isn't it?
So would I be able to use, like, disguise, not as, like, to disguise my appearance, obviously, but, like, because I do have a bonus in disguise, so just to lie, I guess, and just say, I'm sorry, you know, I don't know who that is.
Go ahead and roll.
There's lie.
Here we go.
10. Not bad. He hesitates for a moment, and he will say, all right then, sorry for the mistake. And the Death Eaters will brush past you. What do you do?
I probably subtly at least reach for my wand. I wouldn't pull it out. I'd be very slow and careful and probably turn just to see where they're going. In terms of where I know my mom went, are they in between myself and where she went?
They're currently in between, yes.
Okay. What's everyone else is just kind of standing calmly still?
Everyone, well, the non-Death Eaters are not. Everyone's leaving the premises. So you can certainly leave with them if you'd like. The Death Eaters are still surveying the area, clearly looking for someone.
I'm not gonna leave, but I'm not gonna go follow them or anything. I'd want to blend in, so I'd want to make it look like I might be leaving, but I'm keeping an eye like where they're going because I'm not gonna leave without my mom. Okay.
It's okay. So you're gonna stay put, and some time passes by, and as time passes by, you hear one of the Death Eaters speaking again in this language you don't understand. And they manage to pull out from around the corner your mother. So he has your mother by the arm on one, by the wrist in one, and they have her wand. He's holding her wand in his other hand.
All right, out of character real quick. Would I recognize what the language is, or I don't even know what it is?
Go ahead and roll a linguistics, please.
Is that just a regular language or like knowledge?
Regular language.
Okay.
They're speaking in Russian.
Of course they are.
Is my mom looking in my direction? Did she see me at all?
She's looking in your direction, and she's sort of giving you a look as if to say, run.
Oh my god. Get harm, Dad.
What do you do?
Oh, goodness. I don't even know. I'm gonna slowly approach, but not make it look like I'm walking toward them. Like, I don't want them to know I'm coming toward them, but I'm gonna start to take a few steps in that direction. I assume they're not looking at me because they have her as prisoner.
Roll a stealth, please.
All right. Oh, my clumsiness. Let's see. Oh, goodness. All right.
Oh my god. Don't die, AJ.
Okay. That's a 3. Do you want to use a courage point or not?
Sure, yes.
Alright, so you'll use a courage point, so that's now a 6, which is better than a 3. So what's going to happen is you'll start to approach, and you're going to hear this conversation. The gentleman who was talking to you before is speaking in Japanese again, and you will hear your mom say, "If you're looking for my husband, I will not disclose to you where he is. We're not here for your husband." And she says, "What are you here for?" "We're here for you, Miss Mermont. All we want to know is one thing." She says, "One thing. You have something that we're looking for. The hoop, Miss Mermont. Where is the hoop?" And she immediately says, without even hesitating, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And they says, "Oh, I think that you do. I think you do." And with that, she says, "I will tell you this one last time. Leave this garden while you still can," she says. And the Death Eaters look at each other. Not like this is something new to them. For someone, there's like 4 of them right now altogether, and they said, "Miss Mermont, I will ask you one more time. Where is the hoop?" And she doesn't even let him finish his sentence when so she doesn't have her wands, either of her wands, but she immediately does like a force palm, as she says, "Expelliarmus," and there's this big rush of force coming from the palm of her hand as her Magged Fu kicks into gear, pushes back the guy off of his feet. She then claps her hands and then pushes them outward towards her sides. Both of the mages, the wizards right next to him, also fall over. The one that was behind her rushes over. She spins around, gives him a swift kick across the face. He gets knocked off. Then she snaps her fingers. The wand that was in his hand flies away into hers, and immediately, as soon as her hand grabs a hold of the wand, the 2 ends of the wand start to extend into a bow staff.
No.
And so she's got this big wand bow staff that she starts dueling all by herself, these 4 Death Eaters, and she's kicking serious butt. Ridiculous. So she's like shifting over from like using her staff to casting magic with her hands to casting magic with her feet. Like when she kicks, she actually kicks, and this fire flows out and singes the robes of one of the wizards. And then she also uses the ends of her staff to also cast a few stun spells too. What is Al doing? Because I don't think you've ever seen your mother. There's a side of your mom that you've never seen before, because when she's home, you've seen her leave in like her horror suit, which is a bit of a power suit, but I don't think you've ever actually seen her in the field doing her thing. Clearly this is not an office job that she normally does as an Auror.
Yeah, I think at first he was very worried. Not that he's still not a little scared, but he's like kind of in awe, almost frozen, because I assume he sees that she's doing pretty well and has kind of gotten herself into a point of advantage, potentially. He's kind of watching still.
He continues to fight off these 2 these 4 wizards, and when all 4 of them are down on the ground, she spins her staff again, with her hand in front of her, like in a very defensive stance, as if she's ready to like attack again. And she says, "That is my answer to your question. Leave now." At this point, Albion, roll me a whatever the equivalent of a constitution is in this system. I forgot what the constitution.
What is
Jesus. AJ, your mom is a badass.
right?
11? Okay, so that's not bad. Out of nowhere, you feel a searing pain coming from your leg, and then it goes up your thigh to your chest as your body begins to convulge in sheer pain, which you're trying to resist. You have heard of this spell before, but you never experienced before, and it is not fun as the Cruciatus curse surges through your body.
All right, I assume that's all I can really focus on. I can't even tell like where it's coming from or anything.
Yeah, with your ability, you can resist it enough to not scream out, but it's going to be hard. But you can resist if you don't want to scream out. Did my mom, is she still standing, and do I see the 4 Death Eaters are still on the ground? Yes, which means that somebody else is probably casting the spell on you.
I'd probably call out to my mom if I could, just to get her attention.
Sure. You'll call out to your mom, and she looks up and sees you. There's currently a Death Eater behind you, and he's using the Cruciatus curse to like guide you in front of your mother. And she looks very shocked, and she like looks at you with this eye without even saying a word, as if, I thought I told you to run.
I mean, what can I do in this sense?
Yeah. At this point, the robed figures get up once again onto their feet, and then they say, "One more time, Miss Marmont. The hoop." And from this distance, she can't do anything, like, while you're there. Like, there's nothing she can do now. So she says, all right, fine. And her staff retracts back into her wand again. She carefully takes her fingers from her wand. She wraps it around. So there's like a carving or an etching that is on her wand, which you might have asked her about, but like she never really gave you like clear answers about. But she takes a hold of this etch that's on her wand, and all of a sudden her fingers start to widen a bit as the etching lifts from the wand into a band. So you see this band hoop-like thing come out from the wand, and then she slides the band off of her wand. And then she then reaches over to head towards the wizard. The wizard uses a Wingardium Leviosa to take the hoop into the palm of his hand. And then she says, "I've done what you've told me to do. Now let go of my son." And he snaps his fingers at the Death Eater to let go of you. By this point, your body is so spent on pain that you just collapse to the ground. And like your entire body spent all of its energy just resisting the pain. So you're just as effectively incapacitated. And as soon as you drop to the ground, your mother is looking right at the wizard with scorn as he shouts, "Efatikatap!" And this big stream of green lights comes out of his wand, smacks the center of your mother's chest. Her wand starts to fall down to the ground, and then she starts to slowly fall over. Albion, your strength is spent, but you're watching this in front of you as she falls to the ground with her eyes still open, staring into your direction. And with that, the Russian wizards look around, and the lead one looks at this guard and he says, "Burn it to the ground." And he will apparate as the wizards start to take their wands. Incendio. They destroy a bed of flowers here. They destroy the shrine. They destroy the pond. And all of the creatures and bugs start to fly all over the place as they start to level this beautiful garden in flames. The wizards look down towards you, and you're still like not able to move as this big giant fiery like area starts to descend upon you, and they just apparate away.
And you're still kind of incapacitated?
You're still pretty incapacitated. There's fire around you. Your mother is still in front of you, eyes wide open, looking right into your eyes. And things start to get very, very dark as you start to feel another person grabbing a hold of you and start to lift you up. And we'll end the scene there.
Oh.
Did my dad just kill your mom? Did that just happen?
That happened. That happened. That you did that.
Holy shit!
You did that, Jordan. You created those characters.
I did. I'm sorry. It was all my fault.
It's all good. I don't think there was anything I could have done, but I wasn't gonna just run.
Oh my god.
God.
Are you ready, Levi? Are you ready?
How many parents
Yes.
can we bag? How many?
Yeah, how many parents are you gonna kill today?
Levi, you are in your house in the UK still. It is now the summer of 1999. So it is right before the beginning of this campaign. So you've been to Castle Brusho for, I think, a year now, if I remember correctly. Because you started in 1998. So it's summer of 1999. You just finished your first year. And you're at home right now. It's a pretty nice house, relatively large. And you hear the buzzing of the doorbell.
Is anybody else home, or is it just me?
I think your Joe is home. You haven't seen him around recently, but you believe he's still home, and your father Hunter is at work.
Okay, I think I'd get up and go answer the door.
All right. You'll open the door, and in front of you is this, relatively pudgy but sweet-looking boy. He's got relatively large glasses, not like Harry Potter glasses, but large, thicker frame glasses. And he's relatively short, and he's probably like 11, 12 years old, I would say. And he looks up at you and says, "Hello, is this 200 Church Street?"
Yeah, pal, it is. Ain't you a little bit the wrong gender to be selling Girl Scout cookies?
No, I'm not selling Girl Scout cookies. I'm here for school.
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna go to school here? They don't do homeschool here no more.
Is the headmaster around? My name is Thaddeus. And Joe will come rushing from behind you and says, he helps you with the door and says, "Thaddeus, yes, you're a little bit early, boy. Yes, come on in," Joe says with a big smile. "You've met my son. This is Levi." "Nice to meet you, Levi. Are you the groundskeeper at this school?"
What? I don't even know what's going on right now. This ain't even a school. I don't even know what's going on.
"But that's what it says in the flyer." "Yes, absolutely. Levi, I will explain everything to you in a moment, but for right now, we need to attend to our guests. Thaddeus, come with me." And he gives a smile, and Thaddeus will follow Joe into the basement. The basement's been kind of off limits for a while because Joe said he had a very big secret project that he's been working on, and so you'll follow him downstairs. And he says, "Thaddeus, welcome to the School of Wizards and Witchcraft for Squibs," he says with a smile. "Here at the School of Wizards and Witchcraft, we will teach you everything that you need to know about magic in the safety of this home." "Oh, wow. Are there different houses in this school?" Yes, there are houses in this school, Joe says. "We have a house, there's the Hooterdink house, the Wetzel, and the Gesundtitanic, he says.
That's the one I'd want.
"Oh, that's wonderful. What are the house's mascots?" "The mascots. Well, I'm glad you asked me that question, Thaddeus. The Hooterdink, I think I said. The Hooterdink mascot is the Corgi. The What's-a-Wuzzle is the naked mole rat. And the Gesundtitanic is Levi. What's the mascot of the Gesundtitanic again?"
It's the red ghost from Pac-Man.
The red ghost. The red ghost. Yes, the scarlet ghost. The scarlet ghost is the house of Gesundtitanic. Yes, the three houses. So 3 houses. Yes, they are based on specific attitudes that the students possess. For example, the Hooterdink goes for inner peace. They like to go with the flow. Everything is fine. It'll be all right. Calm and collected in the midst of adversity. The what's wuzzle? They just want to feel like they belong. They want to be accepted for who they are deep down inside. And the Gazoon Titanic, they have this passion to prove themselves, to reach their fullest potential. Because, passion, red, scarlet, to show the world what they really can do. Oh my, I'm ever so excited. Yes, so excited. So I'll give you the grand tour. So here, he's got like some desks laid out and like a little bit of a chalkboard, a white erase board. This is the state-of-the-art classrooms where you'll be learning several subjects such as astronomy and runes and all of these things. Right over here, we have a well-furnished state-of-the-art potions lab, which is more like a kitchen area. Where we will be teaching you about the different ingredients, and during the day, during lunchtime and recess, you will be able to play out in the yard with some of the other students once I get more to sign up. So he bends down and says, "Does this all sound great for you, Thaddeus?" "Oh yes, very much so. I've been wanting so much to go to magic school, and I was told I wasn't accepted because I couldn't cast magic." Well, that's why we are here, to make sure that every wizard from a wizarding family, squibs or not, can get their education. "Oh boy, very much. I'm really excited." So, why don't you go over here, Thaddeus? I just need you to, why don't you take some of these papers and just fill out some of your information, address and all that good stuff, and we'll talk more. "Levi," he says, turning to Liu.
A corgi, really? That was the best you could come up with?
Well, he took me by surprise. I was still trying to figure out So, your other father doesn't know about this yet. I wanted to talk to him about.
Not.
I just wanted to get some interest first. I don't exactly know. I think this is all legal.
Did you put out like a Craigslist ad or something? Like, how'd you even find this kid?
Well, I was just thinking, we've done our best to homeschool you, and now you're going to school, and I've just heard that there's a lot of kids out there who just don't have a chance to go to wizarding school just because they can't actually cast spells. But there's so many things they could still learn. Magical history. I was looking at some of the books that your other dad had ordered if we were going to continue homeschooling you here, and looking through the runes books, and with me being a full-time teacher, I thought I could maybe do this as sort of an after-school program.
Joe, I love the idea and all, and I think that you're a great teacher and all, but you didn't teach me much about magic, so I don't know what you're gonna teach these kids. And I'm a little bit upset you turned our home gym / boxing training area into a new school.
Well, but Levi, look at him. He looks so excited, and there's a lot of kids just like Thaddeus who I thought you would think this was a very good idea.
I'm fully supportive, Joe. I'm just a little upset now that I have to go skip rope upstairs.
Well, like I said, we're just trying this out. I just wanted to see if there was any interest and talk to your dad about the legal specifics. But I was looking at some of the documents that he had in his office, and I'm pretty sure that some exceptions can be made.
I mean, did you talk to their parents or something? Did you even get the parents' permission, or is he just over here? Do they know he's here?
Well, yes. Once he gives me his contact information, I will personally go speak to them, see if they would be up for it. Maybe this is all just a stupid joke. Maybe I shouldn't have done this in the first place.
Nah, Joe, you got this. Look, he's gonna get the best education that this house can provide. I'll look over to Thaddeus like, hey, Thaddeus.
Yes, groundskeeper Levi?
You know how you get sorted in this house is by cleaning my room. You know that, right?
Oh, really? Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, as good as you clean it, we'll decide where you go. I see you at Kabachu. What was it called? I don't even remember.
Oh, I'm gonna clean it better than any other student here. You just watch. And he will run over up the stairs, and Joe is gonna look at you and says, "Really? Clean your room?"
You came up with the perfect solution, Joe. I love it. Just keep him around, and he's got dishes tonight.
I was trying to recruit students, not indentured servants.
Hey, I mean, at my school, I gotta do things I don't like.
Maybe we can give him about 5 minutes, but after that, I would pull him away and send him back down here.
Okay, fine. Yeah, my room wasn't that dirty, anyways. I just wanted to see if you'd fall for that. So next time, when I have to go clean the backyard, that's all him. Just testing my cleaning waters.
He will smile, and we'll continue tidying up the rest of the classroom, and we'll end the scene there. Wasn't that nice?
That was nice.
Yes.
Oh my god, more of that.
You can't take us from